Hello, this is Dave, aka Freak from Yak Chat, and I'm going to be painting another Av, and I just started recording again. I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but anyways, this is these are all the cuts I've done. They're in my folder. I have not posted them anywhere. They're just my cuts. So I'm just going into my file to kind of like this guy, just to pick one to do a paint with. Uh, some of these I've already painted, so I don't know which one I want to paint. Kind of like these guys with the beards. That guy's probably not much to be done with this guy. He looks pretty good as he is. This guy's face kind of orange. I don't know. Let's try. I think I already did that guy. Well, this guy looks alright. Let's try him. So I'm just going to drag that into Adobe. And as it comes in, it's at index color. So you go to image mode and why is this always the wrong way? Image mode, and you go to RBG, and I'm going to duplicate and merge it. I usually paint it this size, and the first thing you want to do is color it, which I don't have my color palette open, so you're going to get to see my files again. So basically here in Voodoo I got my painting resources, and I'm going to open up this one, which is just some swatches that I have. Okay, so this is basically where I can pick up my colors. I have like all my skin tones here, and this was one from Crip's tutorial, and you can just I can just pick anything that's not really. Oops. There we go, and now I'm going to color it. His skin tone with this color looks very orange, but the skin color doesn't really matter too much at this stage because I do tend to change it almost right away. So we're now of his face being that's all the skin tone, which is very orange at the moment. We can change the color here for maybe how his shirt kind of bluish. I'm just going to paint his shirt. And this is, again, doesn't really matter too much because I will change it later on. It's just getting some color on to get a start to your picture. His teeth are, this is interesting. You can actually paint his teeth actually black, and they will just turn out maybe white because it's just making them black and white. It's kind of interesting. So, anyways, and like the one of his eyes, like it's the same thing. You paint it just like completely white. It's the exact same thing. If there's, we're painting it black or we're painting it white, it just changes it back to the black and white uh, state. So, anyways, that's just the basics for getting his skin down. I'm gonna make another copy, Control B, and we will play with these to kind of get his face to more realistic. Which right now is obviously too orange, so the opposite of orange is maybe between this blue this way and get a little bit more realistic color. And I'm just going to play with it. Oops. That's getting there, right? It's a little bit. That looks about right. So He went from here, very orange, to here already. And I didn't like the way it changed the color of his hair though, because I liked the black better. So anyways, we're just going to make a mask right off the bat here. Make it black to cover it and bring back his original hair color, which is basically just a black and white. I'd say I didn't mind it a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of a tone there, so it's a little bit blue. I don't know if you know this, but like most graphic designers know that a little bit of blue mixed with your black actually makes your blacks look blacker for whatever reason. But anyways, that is kind of a weird fact that you guys may or may not have known. And yeah, so that's just the basic tones. I kind of missed a part of in his ear there, so I'm just gonna pick up some skin color here, go to my color, and just get this little tip of ear that I kind of missed. That's a little bit better. So that's basically got our base down of color here, and we're going to do everyone's favorite filter to start off with. This LucasArts. Make it a little bit bigger. Kind of like that already. Makes his stubble stand out quite a bit more. That looks starting to look a little bit creepy, right? Somewhere there, I think. That's when it starts to go creepy. This is just under creepy, and this is too subtle. Yeah, so we're going to go with that one. And I kind of like this skin tones there, not so creepy, but I like what it did to his beard and his hair. So I'm going to make a mask and just sort of bring his undertone of his under layer here, which is, see how his skin was like that. And I'm just going to use this one to mask to bring that skin tone back to the top so it doesn't look so abrupt. Around here, stay away from like his actual beard area. So just like that, merge it down and duplicate again, and then I'm going to smooth out the skin this time. This is using my smudge tool. This has to be a normal. And we're just gonna go in and kind of smooth out his skin. Even along his neckline here. I don't want to go into like his beard area, and just leave that as it is, so he looks more manly with you know, a little bit of stubble on his face. So let's start with that. Making our duplicate, and I think that's a little bit too strong. You probably have to desaturate a little bit, but we'll worry about that later on too. Just go into what I normally do next is smooth the skin, and that's pretty much already exactly where I want it. So I'm just going to apply it. And that added a glow to his face. You can see the difference there. But it also glowed out his the stubble on his face and maybe the hair and his clothes. So I'm just going to do a mask. Again, come in here, bring his stubble back a little bit. Let's bring this up to about 30. I like it around 30 usually. Takes less clicks to get a full coverage in. Got some of his shirt. And yeah, you don't want his eyes to be blurred out. There's this little bit of stubble out there. Yeah, okay. Now let's get him. See how his hair is black and his stubble's kind of brownish looking. we can do something about that. And I definitely find this face a little bit too strong. So I'm going to go to image, adjust, and just brightness contrast. Oh no, I will control U, which brings up your hue saturation, and just bring down the saturation a bit. Because yeah, that is too strong. The colors are too strong. You see how I bring the darkness down a little bit and actually darkened his beard stubble out a little bit, which I like better. Yeah, so that's a little bit better going on here. So now we can go to Control B and start working on. I'm just sort of looking at his skin tone still. So in the shadows, I usually like it to go cooler colors. Something like this. And cooler color up here. You can work with my highlights, usually a little bit of yellow. It's kind of opposite of what you just did with the shadow. You just sort of play like that's too green, that's too red. You just sort of mix it back and forth until you get like the right mix that looks right to you. Like that's too green, that's too red, and you just sort of go back and forth till you sort of click on the one that looks more realistic. And now we got mid-tones. I think that's too purple, too green. Somewhere in there is looking good. I like that. Something like that looks about right. And we go on to Control Z. This is apply it. Control Z. See that it's went from here to here. And I don't know if we can kind of fade it because I think somewhere between was probably more correct. Something like that, I would say. So we went from here to there. So I'm going to duplicate this layer again. And what else can we go to do this? I'm liking the skin. I'm thinking this shirt's. I might change that to a different color. I don't know. Let's try bringing in this filter. Where is it? The NYX effects, and I almost always do my tonal contrast here. I bring these down to see how it goes minus. It eventually goes into a plus. Oh, there's more over here. So this is neutral, and I still find that it's too much colored there, something like that. Anyways, it's the same thing. You sort of like find out what that actually does by going too strong, too little. You just sort of inch it up until it starts to do an effect. See, that's making everything a little pixelated. This is very smooth. So how far over do you want that to go? You just want to touch them, but that's making the stubble look a lot more stronger and better. What's this going to do? This is going to bring up the shadows. Yeah, I kind of like it just like that. We already brought that down. These ones are almost always full strength. Hit OK. Let it do its thing. So you can see how that added a little bit of highlight and made his the highlights come out a little bit and gives this face a lot more rounder look to it, which is good. Bring that down. And we can go into put a background now. So I've been using these backgrounds. Callie, I love your backgrounds. I know you made them a long time ago. I don't even know if you're around anymore. But anyways, let's just pick one. Wasn't really a whole lot of space to put the background in this particular app, was there? I do like this honeycomb effect. I would do the honeycomb. I kind of like that. I'm going to bring that into Adobe, and I'm going to rasterize it. It comes in as a smart object all the time, and I'm just going to turn it off to see where that space is. So it's really only a little bit here and a very small amount there. So I'm just going to place this so the honeycomb is in the area that I want it to be. So there's there. I'm going to duplicate it and drag it across it here so it goes in the other area, and select these both, merge them, merge layers, make a mask, and then I'm going to just start bringing his face in again. You don't have to, like, I'm using a, like, see my brush how it's got a nice soft edge to it, and you don't have to like go right to the edge and make everything like the background completely take over. You just I can find if it blends a little bit and it's not such a as abrupt as a change, like right from the background to where his hair starts or his skin starts. I usually find that a little bit smoother. And of course the hand part's going to be a pain in the butt, isn't it? You can do this by going off opacity and just bring the opacity down. You still select it on the mask, and you can actually see the fingers a lot better, and his whole shoulders in here. So you can just easily mask out that part, and then you bring this part in here. That's basically where his finger ends there, and then you can bring your opacity up to see exactly what you just did. Oops, I think I might be going the wrong way. There we go. So that's kind of the honeycomb effect behind him. And we got his eyes out of the way. Not bad. Merge it down. Make another layer. And I do my burn tool. And you can see the lights come in this direction, so I want to probably burn on this side and leave this one the way as it is. And this will kind of just make him sit onto the background a little bit better. So I'm just burning it in a little bit, right along the edge. You can see his face starting to get darker there, but that's we fix that up later on. Even down here in his finger area, you're gonna make another mask. Go to your brush, and then kind of make this more of a sharper edge. And then we kind of get his face back in there because we just blackened it all out. So now you can see how the shadow, and it's going over his finger there, which we don't like. So yeah, we missed a part on the mask there. Let's go over his finger a couple times. Turn this off and on just to see exactly where what you may have missed. A little bit on his cheek I missed. So I'll bring his cheek back in here. And a little bit more of his cheek. Okay, and you merge it down. Sorry, yeah, okay. You merge it down, and that's your background in there. Make another layer. We can try. What we use. Just playing with these. Something like that maybe. That really softens his face a bit. So it's a little bit too strong, so I'm just going to bring it down. But something, see how it like really softens the skin tones a little bit. Maybe something in there, and I'm going to do another mask. And I don't want it to go over the whole thing. I want to, just have the parts of the skin like is without facial hair to be soft. Keeping his ear and his, don't want his hair to be soft. Just bringing back those type of details. His lips in here. Keep him looking kind of manly. Something like that. So that's what the softener did there. Yeah. Maybe bring in shirt in a little bit stronger. Okay, so merge down. Bring it down, another duplicate copy. We can go to, sometimes I like clarity is a good one to use sometimes. Maybe not in this case. I don't really like that. Let's try, I have like two softeners and they both kind of behave a little bit differently. See how dark that is? So you just play with these sliders and try to figure out, see what it does to your picture over here. You kind of figure out, what's working and what's not working. And that kind of just did the same thing that the last one did. I do like, I kind of like the second hit of soft focus. It's getting really dark in this section, yeah? It's got a lot of dark in that section there. That really brings out his chin though, I kind of like it. So I'm just going to soften that look a little bit and do the same thing. Make a mask. Kind of unhighlight the same sort of areas. His teeth. Keep his beard kind of sharp. And sharpen up his ears a little bit. And clothes. So yeah, that's starting to look good. I kind of like it. Merge it down, and this is where I'm going to kind of make it pop a little bit. I'm going to do image topaz. I'm going to do it in focus, which is just a sharpening. It's basically just a sharpener. But so I'm going to. That's like ridiculously sharp. Actually, we're going to do the comb. I kind of like what it's doing to the beard a little bit. So that's like ridiculously sharp. So what we need to bring it down is maybe try the darken or just try in lighten mode. You can see, yeah, I kind of like what it did to the clothes there. Not so much the skin, it makes it look kind of a bit nappy. Maybe the eyes I like a little bit. Really brought the eyes out a little bit. And his teeth for sure. So, hit your mask, take your brush, and just, okay, this should take out the whole thing. So we're just going to blacken out the whole You can see how it's all black here, and just bring back in the parts that it looked good on. So his eyes kind of looked better. Teeth, whitened his teeth up quite a bit. Just darken that one tooth. He looks kind of like a hick there. Roughen up some of this. I didn't really like what it did to the clothes here, and definitely the background. Just hit some parts in his hair. So yeah, let's see how it's making it pop just a little. And that's by using it like just the lightened areas. So this whole layer that we just did that sharpening on is only applied to the areas that are lighter than the layer below it with this mode on. And you just went in here and just highlight some, some areas that were, I actually don't like that beard part. So yeah, and then you can merge this down, I guess. Merge down, make a duplicate, and I'm going to hit with that same filter, Control F to hit it with the filter again. And this time I'm going to change this mode to darken, so now it's only the darker areas. And you can see what does the beard is kind of really not good. Yeah, it's not too much good on this one at all, is there? Maybe bring down, bring the brown to them up there. Make your mask. I do like what it kind of did to the to his beard a little bit, but let's just blacken it all out again. 100%. It's all black. And the parts that I liked that it changed, I kind of liked a little bit what I did to his beard, but I just going to bring this my opacity down a little bit so it doesn't go so strong. That ruffles up his beard a little bit, and I liked what it did to this. It had a lot more contrast to his clothes, so that was good. And yeah, maybe a little bit to this background it added, kind of added to. So merge that down, and let's see what we got. So this was their beginning, and this is where we got it to. You can see his fingers here really went dark down a little bit, and here. So it's kind of hard to bring the highlights back in. But a way we can do that is to go to Image Adjustment and Exposure again, and just bring the whole exposure up. See how his fingers getting quite a bit lighter. Like that's totally whitening it out. You just want it to go brighten it up so it still has, like a balance of it's not completely whited out. Just like that. Hit OK. Make a mask again. And again, I'm going to black out the whole thing. 100%. Black out the whole area again. And I'm going to come back with the white. And maybe at about 30%. I'm just going to come in and get some of his finger back. Like, he lost it. Through all these filters, we kind of lost it. And you turn it off and you can see how, yeah, it's bringing the highlights in his finger back quite a bit. Maybe a little bit on this finger here, and you can actually bring out like the highlights in any area that's like kind of like a highlight. You can just sort of hit it with a little bit and it'll make it pop up a bit. Like, you don't really have to count on your filter. Sometimes you actually have to paint in some stuff. Maybe that's a little bit too harsh here. Bring it down. But I do like adding like a little highlight to his I don't know what that is, neck muscle there. A little highlight to his nose to bring his nose out. Maybe a little bit on his cheekbone. And yeah, this is like actually painting. But you know, it's very subtle, so don't be afraid to just get in there and dig in and make some things pop out a little bit. So I kind of liking this a little bit. Like maybe the white of his eyes, you can make them pop out, especially this back one here. Just hit it a couple times. And so here we go. This is what we kind of did. And we merged down, and it's kind of liking what we've done with them so far. We went from here, and we got to here, and we kind of lost its hair a little bit, but it's not too bad. You don't really notice it. I don't know what I'm going to do to this guy. His eyes are kind of, you can bring his eyes back into play a little bit because it's they're really dark right from the beginning. They're dark. You can actually do the same sort of thing. You can do like a Control U again. This one, Control U, and maybe brighten his eyes up a bit. Do a colorize. Make his eyes kind of like bring it up a little bit like this. The saturation a bit. Get his eyes so they're blue. Like I'm just looking at this area right here. So maybe a little bit lighter. So yeah, something like that. Say OK. And you're going to make your mask. And you're going to make it all black again. 100%. Make it white again, and it's just looks like his eyes really blue. So all I'm going to do here now is going to bring my the opacity down so it looks realistic, just to give him a little bit of a hint of blue in there. Something like that. And yeah, merge down. That might have been a bit, maybe a bit much, I don't know. Anyways, I think that's about nearing the end of it, and I'm just going to add my tag again. So I come into this file here and I just select my tag, Control copy, and I bring it back in here, Control V, Control U, and I bring my slider across to kind of get a color that matches. Always going to change the color of his shirt, but I kind of like blue. Blue is kind of a go-to color. Yeah, maybe we'll make it this lighter greener color. And hit OK. And sometimes I could do, just because the shadows in here are a little bit faded too, I just come in here and just make my shadows a little bit darker. And I'll place this somewhere in this section, and there we go. That's pretty much a standard av, and that's it for this one. See you next time. Bye for now.